So on the beginners live on Friday, we made headbands and I said I would make a tutorial. So here we go. I have changed to use a chunky just to make it a bit quicker, but you don't have to, okay? You can do it in a DK, but you will need a measuring tape just to measure it. But first, let's start with a slip knot. So a slip knot, go round your finger clockwise, make a cross like this, and then you go under this bit and pull this bit through, but not all the way. We want there to be a loop on the hook, just like that, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to chain. Now I'm going to chain maybe 50 and see how long it is once I've chained it, okay? You need a total length of about 20 to 21 inches. So let's go. So remember to chain, you wrap, pull, wrap, pull, wrap, pull, wrap, pull. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. My yarn is being a bit naughty today. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Now I'm going to check the length. So I'm going to hold it out like this. And our length, like I said, needs to be between 20 and 21 inches. And currently mine is not that. So I need to do 8 inches more. So let's go for another 30. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Now we're going to measure it again. So we've got a 0 there. Oh, perfect. So I've done a chain of 80 in a chunky, and that is perfect. Now we are going to do a half double crochet. So to do that, what you need to do is wrap and then poke into the second chain. So that's the first chain, this is the second chain. Okay, so then you wrap and pull, and then you wrap and you pull through all 3 loops on the hook like that. So wrap and poke, wrap and pull, and then you're going to wrap and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. I need to sort this desk out, I've got too much stuff on it. Right, let's go. So wrap and poke, wrap and pull, wrap, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. What we could do is, so that we don't forget which is our first stitch of this row, we can get a stitch marker and just pop it in that first stitch, otherwise our hairband may go a little wonky. So then we're going to wrap and poke, wrap and pull, wrap, pull through all 3 loops on the hook, wrap and poke, wrap and pull, wrap and pull through all 3 loops. So wrap and poke, wrap and pull, wrap, pull through all 3 loops on the hook, wrap and poke, wrap and pull, wrap and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. So wrap and poke, wrap and pull, wrap, pull through all 3 loops on the hook like that. Now I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing now, I'm just going to tell you that it's just a half double crochet, so it's exactly the same thing, and we're going to go all the way to the end of the chain, okay? And then when we get there, I'll show you what to do next. And so I'm just approaching the end of this row, so I'm still doing the same stitch all the way along, look. We're just doing a half double crochet all the way along, and then I'm just going into the last stitch. We must go into the last stitch, and then what we're going to do on the next row is slightly different, okay? So now that's our first row done. So now you're going to chain 1 and then you're going to turn your work, okay? Now you'll see on these stitches you have got a front loop and a back loop. Can you see it? On all of them there's 2 loops, you've got a front loop and a back loop. What we are going to do is we are going to go through the back loop only, okay? So we're going to yarn over and we're going to poke, but like not like normal where we go through both loops. We're just going to go through the back loop, so just this back part, and then we're going to yarn over, pull through, and then wrap and go through all 3. That's another name for yarn over wrap. Right, so then we're going to go just through the back loop again, so just the bit at the back. So you're going to wrap, poke, wrap, pull through all 3. Wrap, poke, just through the back loop. All these stitches are now through the back loop only. Wrap, pull through all 3 loops. So wrap, poke, just through the back loop, wrap, pull, and wrap through and pull through all 3. So this is our second row, okay? It's still half doubles. The only difference is we're going through the back loop only. Okay, so I will see you when I get to the other end. It's exactly the same as what you were doing in the row before, except we're just going through the back loop. Oh guys, guess what I forgot to tell you? Mark your first stitch of the row, okay? Because it hides down here and sometimes it gets missed, and so if we don't mark it, then the likeliness is we're just going to go into that stitch and we're going to have a very wobbly edge. So make sure we stitch mark on every single row. We always stitch mark the first stitch of the row. And we're just approaching the end of this row, and we can tell where the end is because it's got that stitch marker in it. I'm still just half doubling in the back loop, but we're beginning to get a really lovely pattern. Look, we've got a nice little ridge on our piece now. Right, so now we're going to move the stitch marker, but we're going to remember to place a stitch in there. So we're going to do a half double just in the back loop, like that, and then we're going to chain 1 and turn. So now we're going to do exactly the same thing for the next row. So we're going to do our half double and we're going to do it in the back loop here, and this time I'm going to remember to tell you to replace your stitch marker through that stitch there, and then we're going to carry on. So into the back loop, we're putting half doubles all the way along again. Okay, now you just continue in this fashion. So when you get to the end, you obviously do your half double in the back loop, then you chain one, you turn, you do your half double in the back loop, and you replace your stitch marker. And we're going to continue in this fashion until it is however thick you would like it, because you know some people like their hairbands really thin, some like them more like ear warmers to keep their ears warm in the winter. So I'm not going to tell you how many rows to do it. I'm just going to say do it until you think it is thick enough, and then I will show you how to finish it off once I get to how thick I think I want mine. Okay, and so I am just approaching the end of my last row. This headband is not going to be too thick, so what I'm going to do is just keep going to the end of the row. Don't forget this little stitch that falls down here, and this one here, and that is the end of my row. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to snip my yarn, and I'm going to leave a fairly long tail. I'm going to pull this bit of yarn through the loop to fasten off like that, and then you'll see we've got a long bit of headband. Right, then what we're going to do is we are going to bring the two ends together, and we are going to make like a sort of U shape, and we are going to put one inside the other like this. So you got a C and a backward C, and we're going to go in like this. Okay, and then with our long yarn tail that we've left, we're going to darn our needle. No, we're going to thread a needle, sorry. I always say darn a needle, but I mean thread a needle. And then we are just going to sew this together. Okay, get rid of that bit. So we're going to go through all four parts. So we're going through the C, through the next part, then through that part, and then that part. We're going to pull that tight, and then we're going to go back the other way. And then back the other way. You might want to make your headband thicker than this, and that's absolutely fine. Some people make it really thick and then it's like an ear warmer in the winter, but I just didn't want to make it that thick. Now you'll notice that my C here has gone a little bit in there, so I'm just going to make sure that I get it before I go through like that, and then I'm just going to go through that bit. And I'm going to go back the other way. So I'm still going through all the layers, but I'm just going back the other way. Come on. And back the other way again. And then I'm going to cheat and I'm going to tie these two ends together. And then I'm going to sew my ends so that you can't see them. Hide my ends is what I actually mean. So I'm going to go through a group of stitches. So I'm going to just sew my ends through here, which is just a lovely group of stitches, which hopefully means that you won't be able to see it. And I'm going to go a few stitches this way, and then I'll turn and go a few stitches back like that. And then I'm going to use this one as an anchor point and go back the other way, so I go over the top of that one but under the rest of them. Like so. And then I'm going to snip that end off, and then I'm going to do the same with the other end. And this really is just hiding the ends now. So I'm going to probably go through the same bit, to be fair. I'm going to go through that bit. Try not to pull on that one though, because otherwise it will come undone. and go that way, and then I'm going to go back the other way like that. I'm going to pull that. I'm going to pull that bit again. There you go. And we are just going to snip that off. That is the ends done. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn it the right way. And what we've got is what we should have is a beautiful headband. Now mine is very thin because that's how I wanted it, but yours could be thicker. And there it is, it's finished.